Hi there everybody, this is David, and this entire week I've been going over some great games that I had the chance to get the hands on over at PAX West over the weekend. I started off by going over Dragon Quest III HD 2D, then I talked about Fantasia New Dimension, and today I'm going to be talking about Romancing Saga 2, Revenge of the Seven, and I do think that that is worth a sub as I try my hardest to hit 100,000 subscribers. And with your help, your like, and your sub, I do know that I can get there, so thank you so much for that. So, this is the final demo that I was able to play over in PAX West through Square Enix, and if you don't know, this is a remake of the original Romancing Saga 2, which released back on the Super Famicom over in Japan. We never did get any of the Romancing Saga games here in the West. All three of them were skipped over. We got the original Saga games on the Game Boy, then we got the Saga Frontier games, but we never got these Romancing Saga games, and this one is a really cool one. We did eventually get this game in English over on the Steam. They ported it on over with a couple of quality of life additions, but at the end of the day, it really is much more of just a straight port with a couple of quality of life additions. This, though, is a ground-up remake. This is a complete remake created by the exact same team that created Trials of Mana, and I can definitely see that with the super high quality that I see in this demo. Now, there's two parts of the demo that I was able to play. The first part is whenever your kingdom is under attack by goblins, then you're able to go into like a goblin cave, and then you can go into Sonon for the first kill. There's a second demo, which I didn't get a chance to play just because of time constraints, and that's a much later portion and later on in the game when you're on a ship. So I will show some footage of that, but I didn't personally get to play that. So I've got to say this, first thing that you're going to notice are the graphics, the character designs. They're really cool looking. The voice acting, fantastic. Chef's kiss. And Gerard, your hero, I was looking at him, I'm like, who does he look like? He's like reminding me of somebody, and I'm like, oh, Luke from Tales of the Abyss. It was the hair, I don't know, just kind of uncanny, I've got to say. There's also 3 different difficulty modes added in, with hard being the original SNES version's difficulty. So it's kind of like Fantasia, where like hard is the original difficulty. So it's the same sort of thing here. So there's an easy, a normal, and a hard, with hard being the original difficulty. There is a mini-map on the screen, which is so frickin' handy-dandy. I love a good mini-map. There's a star that tells you where to go. Something about SaGa is that a lot of the times, you just don't know what to do, you don't know where to go, so a lot of the quality of life additions that were included in this remake are things that tell you, what do I do? Where do I go? And there's a beautiful world map accessible with just a press of a button that shows you all the places that you've seen before, that you've been to before, and you can fast travel straight to that world map at any time. Inside the menu, there's a chronicle page that again tells you exactly where you need to go and what you need to do, along with a checklist. There's like a title and then like a checklist underneath, so you're never lost and you're never confused, which is fantastic for a Saga game, which is being well known for can be very, very hard and very confusing. So it does really spell it out for you. Also, in the original game, you would kind of have to like go around the castle and talk to various people to figure out if they would actually join up your party. So it was kind of guesswork as to who would join, and if they did join, you didn't really know what they did. Here though, you can go straight into the pub and you can recruit them all at once. They're all just there. You can pick them up and you can see their stats, you can see what they're good at, you can see what magic spells they have, their proficiencies, so you can really choose who you want and add them into your party. So you have the best person for each occasion. Whenever you are out in the dungeon exploring, it is very Trials of Mana-y. There's little sparklies around, little treasures that weren't in the original game, making it a bit easier because, again, you have more items. There's also a larger map in the dungeons that you can bring with the square button, showing all of the treasure chest locations. Whenever you do find the enemies are on screen. If you are attacked first by the enemies, you'll get like back attacked and it's going to break your formation, and you can get like really kind of screwed that way, and you also have to wait 3 turns so you can run away. But if you attack the enemy first, you'll get a preemptive strike, and you will also deal damage to all of the enemies before the battle even starts. there is a new turn order gauge at the top of the screen showing the order of the characters and when they will act. And whenever you do go to select an attack, it will show if the enemy is weak against it. It'll come up right in red. Hey, use a sword attack on this guy, he's weak to swords. Use a bow attack on this guy, he's weak to bows. And then as you show, or as you find out what each enemy is weak against, the little boxes underneath the enemy's name will light up. Like there might be like little 4 question mark boxes underneath each enemy, and as you attack them with like a bow, they're weak to a bow, and then a bow will show up. Oh, they're weak to a sword will show up. Oh, they're weak to water magic, a little water droplet will show up, or whatever. So you really do want to make sure that your retinue has a great variety of different weapons and magic types and skills that you can, identify and attack all these enemies' weaknesses, because that is going to be the key to victory. Now, in order to get more skills and things like that, there's the glimmering, and you know what that is. You use an attack and it kind of randomly glimmers. Oh, hey, I learned something. But they changed it here. First of all, if you're fighting harder monsters, you will glimmer more often. I found myself glimmering constantly all the time during this demo, and there's a little light bulb, a little glimmery light bulb next to each attack, and that indicates like, hey, player guy, idiot, hey you, use this attack right here, because if you use it, you're going to glimmer something. So the game pretty much tells you and says, hey, use this attack so you can glimmer more text. There's also an overdrive gauge, kind of like a limit break, that you can save for bosses to deal like massive amounts of damage. The menu in the battling has been streamlined as too. It used to be like there would be a different menu for every single weapon type. There would be a menu for the swords, a menu for the great swords, a menu for the bows, a menu for the spears, a menu for the axes. It was a lot of different menus. But now there is one menu for all weapons, one menu for all spells, and one menu for all of the items. You just hit the R1 button to switch between all of them. It is so much nicer, so much easier, so much more streamlined, and so much quicker to use the attacks that you want to use and hit the weaknesses that you want to use as well. Not only that, you automatically recover your HP after every single battle, making it so much nicer for dungeon exploration. And in addition to that, you just have a lot more BP in this game than you did in the original game, allowing you to use your battle skills more often. You used to have to like really only save them just for the boss fights, But now you can use your skills whenever you want to, making these fights so much quicker. In addition to that, there are BP recovery stations in dungeons too, kind of like a save point. You go and you think like, oh, right before a boss, there's like a save point, but here it's a BP recovery station. And you go up to it and it recovers all of your BP right before a boss so that you can go in and you can fight them at full strength. Once you do use them, though, those recovery stations will vanish, and they won't respawn until you leave the dungeon and then re-enter the dungeon. But it's just a way for you to be able to really power through those harder boss fights, which is so much nicer than the original versions. There's just a ton of quality of life improvements here. I had a lot of fun with this one. I love the SaGa series, and we know that Romancing Saga 1 Remake is here. It is coming up in January. Romancing Saga 2 Remake is here. The demo is here, so the Romancing Saga 3 Remake is probably right around the corner. And, SaGa used to be a little bit too weird for its own good, but now they really are mainstreaming it. So this is great for the SaGa series. We're going to see more SaGa. I am in love with SaGa. I've always loved it. Now I want to hear your opinion. What do you feel about the SaGa series? Are you excited for this one? Are you going to be getting it? Do you like what you're seeing here? Let me know in the comments. Let's all talk and chat about it, and have a good day.